Hi, I'm François Lukavetsky, and I'm going to be telling you about my composition, Les Ormes. Let's go. So this composition is based on a poem by Hector de Saint-Denis Garneau, who was a Québécois, born in 1912, and he died in 1943. So he only lived to be 31, unfortunately. But he has left us some beautiful poetry. And that's the first thing I'm going to do is go through the poem, and you'll hear the composition, the pronunciation in a more spoken, recited kind of way, and I will stop every once in a while to also give you some translations. Dans les champs, calme parasol svelte, dans une tranquille élégance, les ormes sont seuls ou par petites familles. That translates to, in the fields, calm slender parasols. In a tranquil elegance, the elms are alone or in small families. Les ormes calmes font de l'ombre pour les vaches et les chevaux qui les entourent à midi. The calm elms make shade for the cows and the horses which surround them at noon. Ils ne parlent pas. Je ne les ai pas entendus chanter. They do not speak. I have not heard them sing. Ils sont simples. Ils font de l'ombre légère, bonnement, pour les bêtes. They are simple. They make a delicate shade. Bonnement would be gently, or bon is good, so it's like generously or tenderly for the beasts. So this poem I tried to set in a kind of impressionistic style. So there's hardly any harmonic movement. Everything is kind of sitting around on this tonality here, which is G flat major. And one thing that was important for me is this introduction kind of sets the tone for this accompaniment, that there's no rhythm. And to me, that represents the long, wide field in which the elms grow. They are giant trees, of course. And so I wanted something that rises strongly like a giant tree in the middle of the field. And so that's why the voices come in unison in this long, slow melody, but only after we establish here through a long period here and a decrescendo that there isn't any rhythm any longer. It's just the voices that dans les champs. So here I kind of made the shape of a parasol, so it's going up and down, very clever. Dans une tranquille élégance, les ormes sont seuls. The elms are alone is the first time that I isolate just two voices here. So I kind of put them together in little families. And what's really important here, by the way, is that the altos, you are the elm. You hold that B flat through all the drama happening below you. And eventually, you're so seul. So you emerge as the sole, lonely elm. All right. Les ormes calmes font de l'ombre. And then we have our first kind of decorative line. And so I'm trying to really break the concept of rhythm when I'm doing this. So there's this oscillating line that is triplet, then a doublet, then a triplet, then a doublet. And so it's a little distracting, but I also want it to feel like lace a little bit, very, very light, okay? Because we are talking about shade. And as that's happening, pour les vaches et les chevaux, very, very simple line that's supposed to sit on top, but quite strongly, because we were talking about the cows and the horses, almost as if they're an important character in this painting. And then, qui les entoure à midi, and then the tenors are going to take it away, and it finally releases. And then we have these two lines, and then the tenors and the altos. By the way, this line, that is from the second movement of En plein air. This originally was meant to be the third movement of that set, but I keep going back and forth whether or not I will orphan this piece and make it a standalone, because when I won the Stephen Chapman Student Award, I won it for the first two movements. There was a time limit. I couldn't include this one. I would have gone over the time limit. All right, so this is happening here, and suddenly we have the tenors, the bass and altos. Il ne parle pas. So it's almost spoken here. It's this low spoken line. Je ne les ai pas entendus chanter. And then now we change harmonies for the first time in the piece. We've been here and now whoops. So the tenors and sopranos, you have really an important job here to come out in this beautiful singing. And it's kind of a moment where we emerge out of the impressionist idea and we get into something a little more operatic almost. And then when we come down, piano has a solo, and that's important for the accompanist to realize. So tell your accompanist that ils sont simples, ils font de l'ombre légère, font de l'ombre légère. By the way, fun fact, this line here is a mirror image of that line here. I just thought that was clever. We have again here, it is important to be precise about this, even though the line feels imprecise. But if you're not all together basses, it's just going to be a muddy mess. So make sure you really learn that and mark where the beats happen. Tenors here, you come in, you're actually just kind of like the rescue to the basses who have no air left. So you just come into the rescue. And then it's just a simple line. It's very simple. And then we go through this where it really is about the tenors making it to the end, but sopranos, you're kind of floating above there. And the most important line harmonically is actually the altos, because you're slowly doing a sol, la, ti, do. You help us resolve when you get here, because I've made things quite blurry, but at some point the audience needs to feel like something is resolving, and that's the resolution, and it is given by the altos. All right, hopefully this has been helpful, and thank you so much for performing my music.